Hi, this is Rabbi Chaim Kaufman, and welcome to our 291st installment in the Torah portion of the week. We are holding by Parshas Mishpatim. Parshas Mishpatim, the biggest parsha in the Torah when it comes to mitzvahs. How many mitzvahs are given in this parsha? It talks about civil law, talks about sale of a daughter, murder and manslaughter, killing a slave, bodily injury, right? Causing bodily injury, death caused by animals, self-defense payments, damage caused by livestock, loss of custodians, borrowers, seduction. A lot of interesting things. A lot of interesting things over here. Torah tells me, Leviticus chapter 22, verse 24. Torah says, you lend money to my people, to the poor person who is with you. Do not act toward him as a creditor. Do not lay interest upon him. Right? So the Torah says one of the most severe prohibitions in the Torah itself is the Jew lending money to another Jew with interest, which is a very severe prohibition. Even a person, let's say, wrote a document. They wrote a document with a borrower, lender, witnesses. Everybody transgresses, right? The one who wrote it transgresses. Witnesses transgress. Borrower, lender also transgress. Very, very severe prohibition. So says Moy Rebbe, Arav Agon and Moshe Moshlita should be well. Brings down his commentary Chochmah V'Das, and he says hard to understand. Why did the Torah forbid Jews to lend other Jews with interest, i.e., the prohibition of what we call ribbis? He says the lender and the borrower both agree. They make an agreement over here. If they make an agreement, why did the Torah make a decree? Why did the Torah say it's forbidden? Right? And it's a very severe prohibition. So even if everyone agrees, both sides agree, Torah says not allowed to. So Rebbe here says, brings down one of the great commentaries, Kli Yakar, one of the great commentaries on the Torah, and he explains like this: personal ends with ribbis. A Jew ends with another Jew with interest. I.e., doesn't apply to a non-Jew. Non-Jew specifically should lend with interest, but a Jew is not allowed to. Why? So he says, if a person lends money, he lends money and he knows he's getting more money back. So he knows it's a sure way not to lose. He's not putting himself at risk. He's got witnesses to sign, because this person doesn't pay, they'll pay. You're not endangering himself in any way. Right? And the Torah itself wants a person, going to business, do business things. Right? I guess where there could be danger. Where there could be issues. Why? Because a person will daven, person's got to pray, and have bitachon. Proper faith and belief in God. God's going to take care of him. God's going to make him money. But someone who wants to, increase their money, right, is not willing to rely on God. They don't want to rely on belief and faith in God. That's why Torah forbids, right? So here, right, one thing we'll just mention is the fact that a person doesn't want to take any chances. Does not in any way, shape, or form want to lose. In other words, sucker bet. Why do I say it's a sucker bet? Because here, you're going to lend 100, but you're getting back 130. So you're not losing out. You lend, obviously you're going to get the money back, right? We'll make it easy. He's going to pay the money back. So he's willing to pay more because he needs the money now. Right? So he's willing to pay an interest. Person lending the money, what does he lose? You're right. He's losing. Someone will say he's losing the money right now. He can't use the money right now, but guess what? He's getting more. If he gets more back, doesn't lose anything. What's he lacking? Faith. He's lacking faith and belief in God. And he doesn't want to rely on God for this to be successful or not. He wants an easy deal. The easy deal is to lend him the money. Okay. He'll lend him the money, but he's going to get more back. That's what the Kli Yakar says. So Rabbi then says, no. So we have another reason. Right? It seems the Torah over here gives another reason. It says, first of all, it says, Es Ami first. Right, in the Hebrew. My people. You should lend my people. Meaning that a person should look that what's he doing? He's lending money to the people of God. Who are the people of God? The Jewish people. They're considered like his sons. So therefore, it's not fitting if you're going to lend to the sons of God, right? Sons of God, so to speak. Then it's not fitting to ask them for more. In other words, if these are the people of God, you have an obligation to help them, right? Here you can lend them money. And he's saying that you should look into it and understand what you're doing. These are the people of God, very good. So therefore, you're not allowed to make money off them. You're not allowed to make more money, meaning, obviously I'm allowed to sell them things, other things, but I'm not allowed to lend them with interest. Because if I lend them with interest, what am I saying? Right? In other words, I'm doing something that goes against what God wants. These are God's children. If these are God's children, how can you lend them for more? More than what you get back. Therefore, Torah comes along and forbids over here, forbids to do such a thing. And the person should lend money to a Jew for the sake of the mitzvah. Only for the sake of the mitzvah. That's why you're lending the money. You're lending money to help. You're not getting anything in return except the money itself. You're not getting any benefit. I mean, you get a mitzvah of helping them, true. But you're not getting benefit, meaning you're not making more than you lent. He says, therefore, Torah says forbidden. Because here you're doing it for the sake of the mitzvah. And what are you going to get back? What's the Torah going to reward you with? You're going to get rewarded with exactly what you did, the mitzvah. Right? Schar mitzvah, the Mishnah Pirkei Avos says. The reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. So therefore, Torah is very stringent. That a Jew is not allowed to lend another Jew with interest. He's considered like a kafir, like someone who denies God. Because what's the foundation of the mitzvah according to this foundation? The mitzvah is the emunah. Belief in God. In other words, what's the mitzvah over here? The mitzvah is the mitzvah. That's what you get. You don't get anything else. You don't get more than what you did. In other words, you went 100, what do you get back? 100. You went 1,000, you get 1,000. That's the mitzvah. The Torah says, you want to lend with interest, you're like a heretic. Like you deny God, you lack emunah. That's the foundation of the mitzvah. Because you're going to say, why should I lack out? Sorry, why should I lack over here? If I lend money, why should I get more back? Because you're going to say, where's my emunah? Where's my faith in God? Is God going to take care of business? Is God going to, make me money over here? God will make you money. Right? But what does the person want? A person wants an easy deal. Person doesn't want to lose. So therefore, lend 100, will get back 150. Doesn't want to lose. So he's lacking in emunah. Because the person thinks God's not going to take care of him. Right? He wants to have a sucker bet. A bet that he's for sure not going to lose. So then Rabbi says that brought down in the book Meiser Rav, right? The actions of this great rabbi, Rav Elijah, Vilna Gaon. The Vilna Gaon tells the following, they say in this book in the name of the Vilna Gaon, that what he said? That he said in a dream, he had a dream that was made known to him from heaven. That in this dream he was told that up in heaven up in heaven, they don't rely on any leniencies when it comes to ribbis, when it comes to loaning with interest. A Jew loaning another Jew with interest. And any time he did it, he's going to get severely punished. How far does it go? How bad is it? So the Gaon said it was revealed to him that even on Yom Kippur, when you're praying, you transgress the prohibition of lending with interest every second. It's not like, okay, you just did it and it's done. Every second a person lent with ribbis transgresses every single second. It says, at the very least, for the month of Elul, will be in the month of Elul, we're doing introspection before Rosh Hashanah, before Yom Kippur. He said at least by the month of Elul and after Yom Kippur, person should work very, very hard not to endeavor in any of these things. Even with permissibility. Meaning by lending with interest over it. Even if there's some way it's permissible. During this time, you shouldn't do it. The Rebbe says, based on that, what are we going to say today? In our day, that this transgression amongst the Jewish people is rampant. Right? The majority of people don't even know, don't understand how severe it is. Therefore, he says, an obligation on each Jew, to do the right thing according to whatever they can do. Unbelievable thing over here. Right, so Vilna Gaon, what does Vilna Gaon tell you? He's saying it's such a severe prohibition. Comes Yom Kippur, it's like you transgress every single second. There's some things you transgress, you did it, that's it. Some things may last longer. This every single second, unless you repent somehow. Return it. Return the extra that you got, or whatever the case is. Then okay. Then you might have, but you might have properly repented. But if not, it's so severe, says the Vilna Gaon. Transgress this prohibition every single second. Every single second. So the problem here is that when a person lends with interest, everybody's going to say, what's the problem? You'll tell me the Torah tells me, clear as day, we just read the verse, you're not allowed to. Jews not allowed to lend another Jew with interest. Okay. When you lend them money, you got to lend them for nothing. The mitzvah you get is the mitzvah. You don't get anything else. Right? You don't get any profits here. You lend 100, you don't get 150. You don't get 101. Right? That's one thing. But the question is, why should that be forbidden? Because a person will say, isn't it true? This is the way of the world. Everybody would do this. If you lend out money, you shouldn't get money back. You're lending out this money, you can't use it. Let's say for the amount of time you lent it, you could get 6-7% interest, halavai. Right? For however long, a month, 2 months, 6 months. Right? You get 6-7%. But here I'm losing. Here a person's losing, not getting anything. You lent 100, you get 100 back. You lent 100,000, you get 100,000 back. But the other person's using the money. I can't use the money. I don't have it. Everyone will ask, if you can't use the money, so why can't I lend with interest? I should be allowed to. What does the Torah tell me? No. You're not allowed to. So what does Rebbe here say? The main thing is you think you're losing out. Right? You think you're losing out. What am I losing out on? You're losing out on the money you don't have. So therefore, what are you going to do? You charge, God forbid, you charge him with interest. So not only did you lose, you make money in the end. Right? You lent 100, you get 120 back. Okay, I didn't lose. I'll get the money back. Very good. Rabbi here says the whole base over here is a lack of emunah. Because you want a deal that you're not going to lose. There's no danger. Rabbi here says in any business deal, you're going to put yourself in danger in a certain way. Certain things you can't do. So you got to rely on God. You got to have proper belief and faith that God's going to take care of your needs. So you don't lose. You don't lose. But a person's going to say, show me. Show me you don't lose. I want something guaranteed. I'll lend out my money with a guarantee. Right, the Rebbe says that's a lack of emunah. That's a lack of faith and belief in God, saying that God runs the world, God's in charge. Because could he make you more money somewhere else and get that money back plus? Sure. Is it probable? I can't answer. God will take care of a person's need. Right? A person doesn't lose. Keeping Torah mitzvahs, you don't lose. You're going to say, I have to work on my emunah. You're right. You're right, but this is a very, very severe prohibition. Right? Person went with interest. You don't repent, you don't get up a resurrection. Pretty severe. We don't say that by other mitzvahs per se. This is a very, very severe mitzvah. Sorry, very, very severe prohibition. Right? So my Rebbe says it's good reason. Because you're lacking in emunah, you're lacking in faith. You're lacking in the fact that God runs the world. And you're saying, no, I want a guarantee. I want a guarantee. You know what? 2 guarantees in life. We always say death and tax. Not necessarily in that order. That's a guarantee. But you don't lose over here. And anyone who says you're going to lose, you're lacking faith. So what is the first explanation according to the Kli Yakar? Because the Kli Yakar explains, what do you get for the sake of the mitzvah? You're not getting anything to benefit. Right? You lose it. Yeah, seemingly you're losing. Or let's say better, you're getting exactly what you got, what you gave. You lent out 100, what are you getting back? 100. So you didn't lose, you just, that time you couldn't use the money. Okay. It's called a loss. You just can't use the money. So even if I can't use the money, what did I get over here? The Kli Yakar says, I got the mitzvah. 100% l'shem shamayim. For the sake of heaven. Best mitzvah you can do. There's no benefit. You benefit the person. You're giving the person money that they can use it now. You're lacking. You can't use that money now. So you're missing anything? No. You're not missing anything. God's going to take care of your needs. That's the faith and belief we have to have. But a person will say, I want a guarantee, so I'll charge interest. No. You got to build up your faith and belief in God. That's the point. Right? That's the point over here. And this is done at the highest level. The highest level being for the sake of heaven. Because what do I get back? I get the same mitzvah I did. No interest. No pun intended. You get no interest. You get exactly what you gave, but you did it for the sake of heaven. Halavai, all the mitzvahs we should do for the sake of heaven. That's our obligation. Get reward, not get reward. Do it anyway. Regardless. Because it makes us who we are. Draws us close to God. And over here, even more, shows our proper faith and belief in God. Is there anything greater than that? I want to remind everyone I do 2 Q&As every Tuesday and Thursday. 10 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Israel time. Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern time. At night, Duties of the Heart. Saturday, Pirkei Avos, Ethics for Fathers. Sunday, Pack Day, Book of Leviticus, chapter 16, 9 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday, 4 o'clock Israel time. And, Pirkei Avos, 2 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Israel time on Saturday. And Noahide Nations, 2:30 Eastern time, 9:30 Eastern time on Sunday. Also have conversion classes twice a week. Anyone interested in any of this, find me on Facebook at Michael Chaim Kaufman or Beyond Orthodox Conversion Judaism. Send me an email, rabbichaimkaufman@gmail.com, RBBICHAIMCOFFMAN @gmail.com.